Wouldn't you agree, preparing and planning a speech takes time? It takes a lot of time. But today is one of those days where everything has worked out perfectly. This morning before I came to NPS, I was downtown Monterey, and I talked my way out of a parking ticket.
All right.
No way.
It's a great story, but I'm going to share that in another speech. However, the strategy I used to talk my way out of that parking ticket was, what if I were perfect? The what if I were perfect strategy. In Toastmasters, you get 3 standing ovations. Now, a standing ovation is a form of applause where members of a seated audience stand up while applauding. Standing ovations are considered to be a special honor, and I totally agree with that. Here in Toastmasters, we honor those who are willing to step up and give a speech. Your first speech is when you join the club. Your first standing ovation is when you join the club. Second standing ovation is when you deliver your first icebreaker. The third standing ovation, you got to put in some work for that. 10 speeches. 10 speeches, and you finish your competent communicator manual, and you get your third standing ovation. One of my goals for 2014 is to deliver 10 speeches. I have several other goals as well. In working to accomplish my goals, I've used a strategy I like to call, what if I were perfect? For example, I have 3 small goals I set for this year. They're in the categories of social, physical, and intellectual. Amphibious goals are not on my list. For my first social goal, it was say hello to a stranger for 31 days in a row. It sounds pretty simple because all you have to do is say hello to someone you don't know. But to be consistent and do it for 31 days in a row, that's tough. I was able to do it for 5 days in a row. The 6th day I completely forgot. It was a Wednesday, it was 9 p.m., I was home from work, I was tired. I realized I had forgotten and I thought, oh well, I'll just start over tomorrow. I eventually hit that goal. But I realized over the 31 days of saying hello to a complete stranger, there were times when I felt really nervous, and I just had to say to myself, what if I were perfect? They would want to talk to me, they would want to say hello. After 31 days, I completed that, of saying hello to someone every single day. My second goal is a physical goal, very simple. I wanted to jump rope every day for 31 days. It sounds simple, but it was tough. I went out, I bought a jump rope for $5 from Ross. I thought, I got my jump rope, I'm ready to go. A week went by, I didn't jump rope. So I really got to thinking about it, and I thought, well, what if I were perfect? What sort of a system would I use? If you're perfect, I think to myself, well then, I'm taking the assumption that I already know everything. I already have an answer. Because my issue of not being able to stick to a habit of jumping rope for 31 days in a row, I can't be the first person that's ever had that problem, right? So there's got to be a solution. So here's what I came up with. I started waking up 15 minutes earlier. My alarm clock is on my desk, so when it goes off, I have to get up out of bed and turn it off. That's something I already had as my routine. But in addition to that, I would set the alarm clock on my cell phone, and I would put it right by my front door with my jump rope. The cell phone alarm would go off 1 minute after my other alarm did. So I'm already up, I'm wandering around. The other alarm goes off, I go right to the door, the jump rope's there, I had a pair of shoes and some clothes, threw that on, I'd go out and I'd jump rope. I didn't have a time limit, I wasn't trying to set any records, I simply wanted to jump rope every day for 31 days in a row. It was really tough at first, but after 10 or 15 days, I was able to build up a little endurance and I actually enjoyed the workout. But I didn't want to overdo it because I knew I had 10 more days to go. For my third goal, this was an intellectual goal. I wanted to do 31 days of writing. I thought about how I would come up with it. I wasn't exactly sure. I'm not a writer. However, one of my other goals was to deliver 10 speeches this year. I'm always looking for good topics to talk about, and I struggle. So I wanted to write every day for 31 days for a minimum of 15 minutes. So my solution was, this is after I completed the jump rope goal. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I will do is write. I'll write for 15 minutes. The night before, I would set up paper and pen on my table. I would get up. I would go right to the table. By the way, I relocated my alarm to the table. When I got up, I would go right to my table, my desk, and I would start writing. I had the lights on, and there were no other interruptions. No telephone, no television, nothing. And I would write for 15 minutes. Once again, I used the timer on my cell phone to keep track. For those 15 minutes of writing, I could write about whatever I wanted. It didn't matter how I felt, what I planned on doing that day, what I was going to do the next day. Over the 31 days, when I eventually hit that goal, I would reflect back and look at my journal writings, and I realized I really had a lot of good topics in there. Topics I could use for upcoming speeches. That goal, that simple, small goal of just writing for every day for 31 days had additional benefits I wasn't even taking into consideration. I'm really happy I did it. And I've realized by simply looking for a small goal, figuring out a way to accomplish that small goal, it'll allow me to build on that and reach larger goals. The what if I were perfect technique, it's not perfect. However, if you take the assumption and you think to yourself, there's got to be a solution, how can I accomplish this? And you form some sort of strategy and you attempt to do it, even if you fail, you need to just take it in, come back, and attempt it one more time. So I'm going to continue working on my goal of giving the 10 speeches. I have 3 more to go, and in order to propel myself to get to that 10th speech, this morning I went on to Easy Speak and I set up my next 3 speeches. They're all already reserved. The last speech is scheduled for August the 8th, and I hope you all will be there for my 3rd standing ovation. Mr. President.